She's a fake person. I believe Ebraheem.
No, they say jealousy makes you nasty, so of course, if they cannot have what you have, they're gonna be jealous, they're gonna talk bad about you, they're gonna trash you, that's why they talk shit. If she apologizes to me on the platform that she did what she did to me that day.
Apologize over my dead body.
Any chance that I made this much of a chance? That?
Never. Oh!
Okay, just episode 1 of Dubai Blings, and ladies and gentlemen, I was already panting for more. These cast members are so unfiltered, they are so raw, their emotions, everything they are saying, everything they are sharing. Guys, it's so raw. It's so raw, and that was just one of the things that really attracted me to the series. So on this particular video, we're gonna start with the cast members introduction. Yeah, I'm gonna introduce the cast members to you, but I'm not gonna do a detailed analysis of their characters or how they interpreted their roles, guys, because guys, it's gonna be a lot. Yes, and I also want you guys to enjoy the experience of the show episode by episode. So as I said, we're going to do some sort of introduction to the cast members, and then we're also going to analyze episode 1. Episode 1 was also drama packed as well. So we're going to get into all of that on this video. Yeah, but before I start, let me officially welcome all of you back to my YouTube channel. Hi, you are especially welcome back. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory, and I am Girl with a T. If you are new on here, thank you so much for choosing to click on this video to watch. But please do not leave without doing exactly what you see on your screen, especially if you're looking for that space where you can get the most detailed, factual, and accurate analysis of reality TV shows, movies, and trending social topics. And if you are a returning subscriber or a returning viewer, thank you so much for choosing to return. Yes, you are the realest MVPs. Now, without much further ado, let's get into this video. So most of the cast members are either a couple or single or separated or about to get married or widowed. And so together they form part of Dubai's elite class. Now, starting with Zina. Zina is a powerful, in fact, one of Dubai's biggest real estate mogul. According to what she narrated, she was one of the people who founded the Palazzo Versace. For those of you that have been to Dubai, I'm sure you're familiar with that place, yes. Zina is married and has a child. She's married to Hanan. Yes, her husband is kind of low-key, doesn't do social media, doesn't like being on social media. Yeah, so he's kind of low-key, more of being in the background, and also a businessman, very wealthy as well. And there's Safa. Safa is a retired real estate mogul herself who is best friends with Zina. Yes, but she's married to Fahad. They have a daughter called Alina. The husband is a billionaire to the core, and so he spoils Safa silly, like treats her like a queen, like a princess, whatever. She gets whatever she wants. More story coming about those people. And there's Chris Fade, who is a successful millionaire radio host. Yes, I had to add that millionaire because he considers himself to be a millionaire. He's divorced, has 2 daughters, and is also engaged to Brianna. Yes, they are set to get married. Brianna is his fiancée of over 7 years, and they are planning their wedding. Also, there's Lojane. Lojane is a very, very successful TV host who has made her name, her wealth, and a mark in the media world in Dubai. Maybe not just in Dubai, I think in the whole of the Arab world. Yes, and is about to retire from TV hosting to acting. She's got her 2 brothers living with her. One of them is jobless, so she literally takes care of that one, pays his bills, funds his expenses, his expensive lifestyle as well. And then there's the other one who is more like her manager, who oversees all of her work affairs. Yes. Then moving on, there's LJ. I think LJ's full name is also Lujane. Yes, not Lojane, but Lujane. She's a socialite, a single mom of 2. She's widowed, of course, was married at the age of 21 to a billionaire, an Arab billionaire, and people thought that she got married to the man for his wealth because this man was actually over 30 years older than her, guys. And so when she gave birth to a second child 1 month after she lost the husband, and so for 5 years now she's been single and is ready to mingle. And then there's Ebraheem. Ebraheem is a young businessman man, yes, very well renowned, of course. And he's got a cake and coffee shop as well as a flower shop. And he loves his mom to death. He's single, and his mom is really pushing him to go on dates to look for a wife. But guys, there's more to Ebraheem than meets the eye, and we're going to find out as we proceed with the analysis of this show. Now, moving on, Farhana. Farhana is a social media influencer. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest social media influencer in Dubai. She's a single mom to Aiden and is separated. Yes, she's a hustler, guys. She's a hustler. Now, moving on to the details of episode 1 of Dubai Bling. In episode 1, we were introduced to Zina, who shared briefly a story of how she came to Dubai for the first time with only $300. And then in 5 years, she had made her name in the real estate industry. As a matter of fact, she was also part of the first people who founded the Palazzo Versace place. Guys, I've never been there. I don't really know the experience of being there, but guys, people who have gone to Dubai said that that place is gigantic. Ladies and gentlemen, that story, no matter how brief it was really inspiring for me, and it made me want to hear more about how she utilized that $300, how she invested it into building such a powerful future and such a powerful name and status for herself in Dubai. As a matter of fact, guys, I was also wishing that Dubai will someday soon, open its borders back to Africans and Nigerians especially, so that me too, I can go to Dubai with only $300 and see fortune will smile. Anyways, after Zina, we're also introduced to Safa and Fahad's mansion, guys, where Safa was going crazy and ranting and complaining about the lack of space in her closet room. Guys, according to her husband Fahad, these people live in a 5-bedroom mansion, and so they had to convert one of the rooms into her own personal closet space, guys. But Safa was still complaining that the space was not enough, that she wanted a bigger house. She wanted Fahad to buy her a bigger house. Now, Fahad, on the other hand, is willing to do whatever, any and everything for his wife. But for him, he has just one request, and that is for Safa to give him another child. I think their daughter, Alina, is about 2 years old or probably 3 years old, yes. And for Fahad, why are they wasting time? Why are they not having all the babies they want to have, and then so that they can rest and enjoy their lives? But for Safa, her body cannot bear the burden of carrying another pregnancy. According to her, she had a very, very exhausting, a very, very stressful pregnancy when she was pregnant with her daughter, Alina. But for Fahad, no. She was basically lounging and relaxing all through her pregnancy. I mean, guys, you can actually imagine that, coming from a billionaire's wife, but she is constantly complaining that no, that the husband was not the one that carried the pregnancy for her, that she has added weight, she doesn't want to get pregnant. So guys, that was just the bone of contention for these two people. According to the husband, give me another child and I will buy you another house. So she invited over her best friend Zina, yes, to discuss the prospect of them expanding the mansion, because according to her, Fahad will never move out of that mansion. I think he inherited that mansion from his parents, yes, and it carries a lot of memories about his mother especially, so he does not want to move. So the only option is for them to expand the house by buying the building next to theirs, right? And the people that own the building are not really ready to sell. So according to the conversation she had with Zina, it doesn't matter how much the owners are willing to sell, that she should just make sure it happens. For her, she needs a new space, and so it must happen. Guys, these people were quoting the sum of $90 million. $90 million to buy a new house, to attach it to their own existing house. And when Zina was asking her, oh, is Fahad okay with the money? She's like, she does not care. Whatever happens, she does not care. All she wants is the house. I say, Father Lord, take me to that place Where I can also be placing demands like that, and I don't even care about the check. I don't even care about the figures. Next, there was Chris and his family. That's his 2 daughters and his fiancée, Brianna, returning back to Dubai from their 5 weeks vacation in Australia. Now, Chris originally is an Australian that moved into Dubai 14 years ago. According to him, he was meant to stay for 2 years, but he has been in Dubai for the past 14 years. And so they're back home to Dubai to their business. They also have a snacks business, I think, healthy snacks for adults and regular snacks for kids. They have a business as well, and they are also planning their engagement ceremony as well as their wedding. Now, it's still in this same episode 1 that we got to know about Lojane's decision to switch into a new career path. And so at her home, she decided to take some sort of fear therapy, guys. I don't know what that treatment is called, where she had to stand on nails, yes, just to kill the fear of the unknown. And so in order to go through that, kind of therapy, she had invited Zena over to her house for moral support. Now, moving on, LJ had a blind date with Ebraheem. Now, these people are meeting each other for the first time, but Ebraheem, on trying to be a gentleman, had sent a helicopter to go and pick LJ from her house. Now, LJ was not really impressed at all because according to her, her late husband had a helicopter which they used to go to almost everywhere they used to go to where they were living, right? And so just 1 year ago of moving into Dubai, she's used to the luxury. She has a lot of investments, a lot of stocks, a lot of shares here and there. So her husband, even though late, left all of his wealth to her. So she's extremely comfortable and wealthy and is used to the luxurious lifestyle, So when Ebraheem was asking her how she felt, about him sending a helicopter to go pick her for the blind date, she said, well, she's used to it. It's normal. She's used to the lifestyle, guys. It was such a turn off for Ebraheem, especially when Ebraheem asked her if she had any expectations. She was like, no, that she wasn't expecting anything. Like, guys, look, from Ebraheem's perspective, LJ was just very, very saucy, very, very nasty. Like, according to him, she was acting like a spoiled brat, and the fact that she was not really impressed with anything that they were doing. I mean, they were having dinner at the Atlantis, guys. According to people that have been to Dubai, Atlantis is like a major, scene for them, So, but LJ was not really impressed with any of those things. So it was a huge turn-off for Ebraheem. And the last straw that broke the camel's back was the fact that she left early with the same helicopter that she said that she was not impressed in, and then she went back to her house. And LJ, all through the dinner, was just complaining. She was not attracted to Ebraheem in any way. She was not impressed with his looks. Even the fact that he had a rose as a breast pocket scarf or something, like, it was just irritating to her, and everything was just a turn off for her. She was not really impressed at all, and so she had to leave. And then she vowed that she was never ever having another date with him again because he was not just her type, he was not her spec. Now, Ebraheem, on the other hand, was also very, very disappointed with everything about LJ, and so he was telling his mother about it much later, and even describing, who LJ is, how she behaved during their date. And the mother was like, okay, she's giving all, gold digger vibes, because he had also informed the mom that LJ's husband was over like 30 years older than her. I mean, another concern he had was if it would be a good look for his reputation. And so for him, he's not also having another date with LJ again. Where the drama now started officially was during Zena and Farhana's meeting. Remember, Farhana is the social media influencer. So Zena spotted Farhana and her son having a photo shoot at the Palazzo Versace space, and she stood from afar watching them. And then much later, she moved on to them. According to Zena, she knew that Farhana had seen her, but I decided not to say hello to her. So she had decided that, okay, fine, she's going to go over to Farhana and say hi to see Farhana's reaction. And Farhana had acted all surprised, like, oh, she was genuinely surprised. She didn't know that, what's her name now, Zina was going to be there. And Zina was like, well, I am Visage, so I'm definitely going to be here, you know. So that was when Zina was telling Farhana that, well, it's been a while. It seems like we've been estranged from each other, but I saw you at an event. You greeted someone in front of me and you did not say hi to me because I was actually behind the person. And Farhana said that she did not see Zina. Now that was a problem for Zina, because according to Zina, that's what makes Farhana fake. You know, that they used to be very, very good friends. They met at a mutual friends event and they became very good friends. But then she noticed that the moment Farhana started getting endorsements and sponsorship deals, that she started drifting apart from Farhana, because everything Farhana started doing looked like marketing. If they go out, you know, Farhana is always creating content, you know, the whole social media lifestyle, and she's not really comfortable with that kind of lifestyle, you know. But now she just wants to see if they can actually be in a good space again. Now, Farhana, on the other hand, feels like Zina is kind of gossiping about her and judging her because of what she's doing. That for her, she's a very, very hardworking woman and she does not really care about what anybody is saying about her hustle. Something quite mind-blowing also happened in this episode 1. So, Safa and her husband Fahad had an argument during dinner over, you know, the prospect of getting a bigger house, and Fahad arguing back that he would only give his wife a new house or a bigger house if and only if she gives him another child. Guys, Safa got so upset and decided to burn the husband. In other words, burn his bank account, which of course is not really going to feel, right? So she decided to get herself a very, very ridiculously expensive jewelry. So she invited her friends over to go with her. She invited Zina and LJ, and then they went to one of those designers places. Guys, to be very honest, I cannot pronounce that name. Yes, so I don't embarrass myself. So they went to this shop or store, and that was where they started, you know, having conversations whilst Safa was trying on different kinds of beautiful jewelry. Now, LJ, there's something about LJ. LJ has this very, very innocent and naive way, you know, of asking questions that sometimes comes across as a bit kind of offensive to the people around her, right? So first off, she started off by telling them about her blind date with Ebraheem, you know, complaining that she will never go on another date with a guy because she does not really fancy him, she's not attracted to him, you know. But the other ladies were kind of praising Ebraheem to her, telling her that, oh, Ebraheem is actually a good catch, that Ebraheem is a businessman, owns his own business, is doing very well, well educated, well exposed, well traveled, you know. But no matter what they say, she was not swayed, because for her, Ebraheem was not just her type. He was not a spec, and she was not attracted to him at all. Now, this was the part where she now started asking both Zina and Safa, you know, if they actually went into real estate as a career, you know, to meet rich men. That, you know, when you are showing these rich men properties, you know, you are meeting them. And Zina was like, no, that to be in real estate, you have to work really hard. You have to give extra time to your work, you know, before you can even make a name for yourself. And that was when she turns to Safa to ask her, oh, did you meet your husband during your real estate practice? Didn't you meet him during your real estate practice? Or he was one of your clients, right? Like, wasn't he your client? And then you were showing properties and then both of you got married? Guys, Safa's facial expression, she was like, it was so annoying for Safa. But the good thing is that they understood LJ. They understood that that was just her own naive way of, you know, asking questions. And for Safa, like this one, you've never ever worked in your life. You got lucky, you married a billionaire, he died and he left you everything he had worked for all of his life. So what are you talking about, you know? So it was just very, very funny. Like, we're just looking at her like, what's this one even talking about? And then she was asking Safa if, you know, luxury was her lifestyle before meeting her husband. And Safa was like, oh yes, that she was used to luxury already before meeting Fahad. You know, it's just an added bonus, you know, being married to a billionaire as well. And then they asked her the same question, that, okay, what about you? Were you used to luxury before? And that was when she said that no, that she was a very, very simple girl before she met her husband. And then the husband introduced her to luxury. I said, okay. The shade. Now, the last scene of episode 1 was insanely hilarious, guys. There was so much drama. So much drama. So Chris and Brianna had invited their friends to a small gathering where they had celebrated their engagement and also used the opportunity to inform them of their impending wedding. Yes, they had been planning this wedding for a while. As a matter of fact, I think they had been dating for about 7 years, and so it was time for them to finally get married, make it official, right? So that was where a lot of things were happening. So Chris had seated Farhana and LJ together, and these two people, they have an existing beef. Now, before we get to that existing beef, right, as usual, Safa and Zina were still together as besties that they are, and Zina was gisting Safa of her meeting with Farhana at the Versace place. Yes, telling Safa about how Farhana had actually pretended not to see her, and then she had walked over to say hi, and then she was talking about the previous thing that actually happened that got her really offended, you know, and started calling Farhana fake. So as they were talking, Farhana showed up. So Safa was saying that, oh, they should speak Arabic so that Farhana would not understand what they were talking about. But then Farhana came over and, okay, Zina was even saying that, oh, she wasn't going to get up to say hi to Farhana because she wanted to see if Farhana was going to be genuine enough to walk over to her by herself, you know, to say hi. And then Farhana did, and everybody like, they were kicking and laughing like nobody was saying anything about anybody. Anyways, Farhana sat down and already brought out her phone, and she was already doing social media things. Hey guys, we're here doing Snapchat, Instagram and all. And it was just a turn off for Zina again, because Zina is kind of like a private person, right? She does not really like people to know the people she rolls with in her circle. She likes to keep things on the low because of her husband as well. So it was a turn off for her. Now, whilst all of this was going on, they noticed that LJ was actually seated close to Farhana. Now, whilst that was going on, that was when LJ noticed that the person that was to sit beside her on that table was LJ, and she became very, very uncomfortable. Talking about LJ, that was when LJ was just making her own entrance into the party. So LJ came, saw Farhana as well, and was already upset, like, no, this person is too mean. I don't want to sit beside this person, but then she had no choice. So she sat down beside this person, and then Safa and Zina, they were having the time of their lives, seeing how uncomfortable these two people were, right? Especially for Hannah. So Chris came over, sat down, and then was asking both of them, like, okay, why are you quiet? People are not talking to each other. What's happening? And that was where Farhana was saying that, oh, LJ offended her. Apparently, LJ had actually sent a quote written by someone, put it on social media, that talked about friends using friends or people being fake or whatever, and I tagged Farhana, asking Farhana, oh, are you using me? That kind of thing. And guys, to be very honest, that was very, very offensive. And according to LJ, that was not exactly what happened, but then she did not say anything more. So Chris had gone ahead to ask both of them if there was ever a chance that they would ever resolve their differences. Guys, Farhana said the only way she was going to forgive LJ is if LJ goes onto that same social media platform that she had spited her to apologize the same way she embarrassed and disgraced her. Meanwhile, LJ, on the other hand, is saying that not on her life. In fact, over her dead body, will she ever tender an apology to Farhana. And ladies and gentlemen, that was where it ended. That was where episode 1 ended. And guys, I feel so tempted to start telling you about episode 2 now, but no, I'm just going to save it for another video because I'm sure there are a lot of you that are catching up with the series already. So let me just allow us to take it one step at a time. You know what? I would love to know your thoughts and your first impression, of course, about the cast, you know, in the series. Just go ahead and share with us in the comment section below, and also let me know your thoughts about the dramas and the little arguments they had here and there. About Safa and her husband Fahad, what do you think? You know, the trade by barter, you give me a child, I give you a big house. What do you think about that? About LJ and what's his name, Ebraheem's date, what do you think about that? Do you think LJ was too much, or do you think Ebraheem was just too judgmental, you know, because that was just the first date? What are your thoughts? And also about the drama, you know, between Farhana and Zina, what are your thoughts about it? Do you think Zina was being overly judgmental about Farhana's hustle as well? And finally, about LJ and Farhana's beef. Who do you think is at fault? Go ahead and share with me your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Thanks for watching and have an amazing day. Bye.